Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. I'm not dealing with my hair in this video, and I'm also going to wear my glasses, which I did not do in the last video, and I have a baby face now because I fucked up my beard. I realize that by wearing glasses there's going to be glare, and I don't want to mess that up. I guess we'll just deal with it for now, because I mean, for the most part, you don't really see the glare in my glasses anyways, so long as I guess I don't look up like this, I think. Take two.
Welcome to
Sword Poe! We're in the pipe, 5 by 5.
I think this is coming after the intro. I'm going to explain this series and then go into it. What is 5 by 5? Is that like a piece of wood? No. A 5-minute review followed by a 5-minute critique. And yes, there are differences. In fact, I was inspired to make this series because of the differences. And the differences that some people may or may not know. I had a professor in college and he taught us the difference between a review and a critique. And essentially a review is prior to the film and a critique is after. If you've seen it and you don't want to spoil it, you do a review. And if you have seen it and you want to spoil it, you do a critique. And I know there's a lot of conflicting definitions and such for it, or at least personal definitions of the word, but I found that that explanation makes the most sense, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it double. A lot of YouTubers already do this. A lot of YouTubers do it great. I personally think some of my favorites, or at least from the review aspect where they don't give any spoilers, best examples would have to be Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns. They're amazing. I love their stuff. But there's so many other good YouTubers out there as well that do great reviews and critiques and both in the same video. Without further ado, I'm going to actually start the 5 by 5 now. There will be a little timer at the bottom of the film, probably the film. There's gonna be a little, there is going to be a little timer right like here-ish that's gonna count down those 5 minutes, and I'm not gonna go over that. I am determined to stay in between that. There's no script, but there are bullet points that I wanted to go over for each thing that I wanted to talk about in either the review or the critique. I'm gonna shut up now, and then I'm going to continue talking, but actually with what matters. Transition, warp, static, edit sound effect, I don't know. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Oh, wait. Before I do go, I do want to mention that this is still like a work in progress. All of these series are a work in progress. This video could be the roughest of them all, but I guarantee you I will try to make them as better and more intricate as time goes on. Anyways, yeah, transition. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is by far my favorite MCU film, and talking about an MCU film is probably the safest choice because it's guaranteed at least one view, and it's definitely guaranteed at least one hate comment. I know that for a fact. This film, to me, is only my favorite because it is just so different from the rest of the franchise that we already have. Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, can also be seen as Hope, the movie, in the MCU. I feel like the direction and the style are so different, they're so unique, cinematography is gorgeous. Some of the things are so absurd in this film that you're going to be like, what? And I mean, depending on whether you like that type of stuff, you're either going to tune out or you're going to enjoy the ride. I am somebody who enjoys the ride. I think we don't have enough absurd things in Hollywood or even independent films or anything like that. I feel like it can be a budget thing, or it can just be that people are a little too scared to get absurd with their media. If you want a perfect example of mainstream absurdity, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It is amazing. I feel like it's great. It's great in terms of a Marvel movie that you could just sit down, eat some popcorn, and watch, for sure. The acting in this film, I found very pulpy, very campy. It worked because we know what we're getting ourselves into. It's Sam Raimi. It's Sam Raimi, you know? Need I say more? If you don't care, don't know about directors or Sam Raimi in general, I mean, I don't blame you. But with him, what you're getting is crazy, batshit, insane stuff. And what you get in this film is that. Certain scenes, I am surprised, got allowed into the PG-13 cut. And some people will be like, it's not that bad, and blah, blah, blah. The MPAA rating system differs from like project to project to societal norm, etc., etc. I went into this film, I knew it was going to be more violent than other MCU films, but there was some stuff where I'm like, yeah, I see that that's tame, and there's some things where I was like, ah! I'm like, that's really pushing a boundary. Some people might not agree with me, others might be like, what the hell? But personally, just, it was refreshing. I know I'm very into scary stuff and gory stuff. It's not really gory, but I'm into that type of stuff. It was my cup of tea. I feel like it pushed a lot of boundaries in the right direction for the MCU, although I can't confidently say that this is going to be what holds the MCU together, because in the back of my mind, the issues that do come through, that I will speak about in a little bit, with this film, it's kind of just a staple of all the issues that the MCU has currently. Can't really blame anyone other than like writers and producers and whatnot, but it is what it is. I still have fun with it because I'm not taking it seriously at this point anymore. I'm just in it for the ride. You've got some pretty good acting from Benedict Cumberbatch, an amazing introduction to America Chavez from, oh boy, I don't want to mess up the name, Xochitl Gomez. If I butcher that, as a Hispanic person especially, I'm going to get criticized, but oh my god, so she was amazing in this film, and it makes me want like a Saturday morning cartoon vibey show based off of her traveling through different multiverses, you know? Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, it's kind of what I wanted. I wanted the anti-hero, even though she is a villain in this film, but I wanted the, you know, she saved the world before, she's tired of that, and she's obviously gone a little cuckoo. But from lighting to direction to art design and stuff like what we've seen in the trailers, got one playing behind me, like Zombie Strange and everything that was in there, super, super cool. I will say nothing else. I think my time is up, honestly, but very, very fun. I'm still figuring out how this rating system is going to go for this series, because at the very least, with the critiques, I want to rate them on a scale, but with the reviews, I don't want to do that. It's going to be between a highly recommended, not so recommended, meh. Personally though, recommended. If you want something that's fun, just go out and watch it. It's not gonna, you know, it's unique. Definitely if you're tired of the superhero stuff, it's very unique. So,
Rolf is not amused, you, how do you say, ducks?
Dorks!
Yes, that is what I said.
go out and see it. Okay, we've pushed past the review portion. We're going straight into the critique version portion. Still can't speak English. I did actually bullet point some stuff here that I did want to mention. So first things first, Sam Raimi, love the director. If I had to idolize a director, which I don't actually do, it would be him. And that's just kind of involving his story throughout Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and, you know, the Spider-Man and all those things. Sam, I could make a whole video on it, but I feel like direction in terms of this film was fantastic. There was definitely some liberties that you see here that other MCU films don't have. POV shots and handheld shots and actors holding the cameras and shaking them in front of each other. There's produced by Kevin Feige. I mean, yeah, he's managed to do something that I don't really think anybody else ever has, other than like outside the Godzilla and Power Rangers franchises, which is have such a long-lasting, self-sustained franchise. Like, he's managed to do that. That's incredible. John Mathieson. Sorry, John, if I mispronounced the last name. Trying to give as many crew members as physically possible the credit that they deserve, rightfully so. And so we got the cinematographer, who works hand in hand with Sam Raimi. And he just, it's cool to see like the direction of one person and the technique of another person meld together into just something that you're like, that's cool, I want to do that. And I feel like John really takes it to the next level. Some of the best cinematography and shots I've seen in the MCU since probably Thor Ragnarok. For this film, the writers were Michael Waldron and Jade Bartlett. And so this story is really not that engaging or exciting. This is where the flaws start to come in. It's your average run-of-the-mill story, but I feel like because we know these characters and resonate so much with them over the years, it's not so bad. Essentially, what's happening is that Wanda is trying to kidnap America Chavez so that she can essentially sacrifice her and take her powers so she can travel the multiverse, steal kids from another Wanda, and have those as her own because she's gone crazy. And what rationalizes the crazy? Well, it's because the Darkhold, which is essentially the Necronomicon of the MCU, has put a dark hold on Wanda. It's turned her crazy. But yeah, the writing's it's not a knockout of the park. It's okay. I feel like there is always room to be better, but it then comes down to like, this is marketed way more as something else than it should have been. I can tell you right now, the multiverse of madness is more like the 2 or 3 multiverses. You get about this much multiverse in the actual film, and that was a little disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. It's not too crazy. It's more like a taste of the multiverse. Granted, it was enough, but it's simply just a taste of the multiverse, and you're not gonna get some extravagant characters and such coming back from any other movie. Story-wise, the Illuminati was completely pointless in my opinion, but it served its purpose. You do get Mr. Fantastic, who is John Krasinski, which in my opinion was Marvel's way of going, alright, you got your fan cast, now we can just kill him off so we can say that we did it. And that's exactly what happens, because he goes in and he's dead within the next like 5 minutes, and he's okay. His Mr. Fantastic didn't last long, and I'm kind of glad that it didn't last long because, you know, it was just kind of like a nice little treat. All the other people were okay. I mean, Charles Xavier, seeing him was good, but same issue with John Krasinski. It's like you take these characters from other universes with those actors and you don't do anything with them. I digress, though. I will also say that Black Bolt, which his actor was, give me 1 second, Anson Mount, who was Black Bolt in the Inhuman show, which was a failure, not by the actor's faults, but mostly just Marvel's mismanagement of the Inhumans. He came back and reprised his role as Black Bolt in a way more comic accurate, way better role, and was also killed off in about seconds. He's the first one to go, his brains blow out, which is super, super cool. Now, the time is running out, and we only have the 5 minutes and whatnot, but I do want to mention some stuff like costume design by Graham Churchyard, very, very good. Editors Bob Murawski and Tia Nolan, they did an amazing job at fusing Sam Raimi's directions with all the editing choices and merging them together and smashing them into an amazing little piece of stylistic visual representation on screen. Now, rating system. This is my favorite MCU film of all time at the moment, but that's not saying much, and I want to kind of explain that a little bit with this rating system. So there's a 1 to a 10, 1 being the absolute worst, 10 being the absolute best, but I would like to mention that a 5 out of 10 is just an average film. That doesn't make it bad, it's just an average film. It's okay. My ratings still shouldn't affect the way that you view something that you could like or could hate. Go out and see it. Although by this point in the video, we're in the critiques, so it's implied that you have already seen it. Overall, though, I would say if I had to rank Doctor Strange 2 on a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably somewhere in my 8. This is like an 8 out of 10. This is something that I enjoyed a lot. I recommend that people go see it. Despite certain story elements not really working, despite some misleading advertisements and all that stuff, it was still a blast. I had a great time. I wasn't screaming outside of my seats or jumping in joy at certain things. I was just there pointing at the screen going like, hey, that's cool, or like, wow, that's cool, and bloody. Stuff like that, you know? Okay, so I still don't really know how to end this video, and I normally wouldn't even end it like this because after the rating and recommendation, it should just be over, but I am going to just once again reiterate that this is still a work in progress. There's probably glares in my glasses, my dirty little glasses and stuff like that, and there's a lot of kinks that have to be worked out. But again, it's been a while since I've done YouTube, and this is also something new I'm trying out. So I just, for the most part, appreciate that anybody has probably gotten this far into the video in the first place. And second of all, the patience that one might have to see it grow and develop over time. So thanks for watching. I do have social media. It's in the link in the description. I'm not going to put anything on the screen at the moment, but it's in the description. Like it if you liked it. I don't know. I'm not really big on pushing that, and I also make no money from these videos. Until I learn how to work a Patreon, I'm not gonna make YouTube my financial security. I don't even feel financially secure in general. So this is all just for fun.